Togekiss is goated.
Yeah, I know, but like Togepi sucks.
Togetic, even better. Holy fuck.
True. What were they thinking behind Togekick?
Serene Grace, doubling the chance of moves, so you can.
When the fuck does this thing evolve though? Like, how long does it take?
It's friendship.
Oh, friendship's leveled up through battling and talking to it, right? Fuck.
I think you also get a little friendship from steps, right? Or is that only newer games?
With Heart Gold and Soul Silver, having it out of the Pokeball, following you around, steps do increase it, I believe.
Okay.
But I think that's a Heart Gold, Soul Silver specific thing. Do the Pokemon still follow you around in the other regions?
If you have Heart Gold, Soul Silver, yes.
Okay, cool. Because Heart Gold, Soul Silver, that was the thing I hated about every other Pokemon game besides Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I loved the idea of having a Pokemon following you around at all times.
Same.
And the fact that they didn't do that...
Everyone else got their Pokemon out. Why can't we?
Yeah. And the fact that they didn't do that in any of the other games annoys the shit out of me. Because it was such an easy thing for them to implement, yet they chose not to.
They did it in They did it in Arceus. No, that was Sword and Shield, actually.
I don't think your Pokemon follows you around in Sword and Shield unless you're in the wild
DLC.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't add... No. Sword and Shield, it's in the base game, I think. No, Scarlet and Violet is a base game. Sword and Shield, you had to go to the DLC island for some reason. But the interesting thing about Pokemon following you is that, like, apparently in, I believe it was X and Y, they have, in the game's files, they have the walking animations for, like, that the Pokemon use in the overworld, just sitting there in the game files. So, like, they apparently thought about it at some point, didn't do it, and then Sun and Moon comes out. Those files are still there. It's data mined, the files are still there, and they still don't do it. So, like, this is just... They've had the animations they have Pokemon walk around the overworld for several games, and they just didn't do it. It's weird.
Yep.
Pokemon is like a very weird franchise when it comes to how it evolves and changes, and by that
removes fucking features that people want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everyone fucking loved fucking Mega Evolutions. What did they do to Mega Evolutions? They fucking removed it after one generation.
Yep.
Like, what? Bro, what?
Oh man, it's so cool that I can power up my Pokemon. I have these new strategies I can do with the Pokemon. I like, nope, gone. Get him out here. Never coming back. It's so weird.
So fucking wild, honestly.
True.
It's
Rock Smash should just be an instant elimination on Geodude, honestly. Geodudes should just die instantly to Rock Smash. It should be like a little like side note on the move. Rock Smash instantly kills Geodudes.
Oh, poor Geodudes.
What about like Graveler, just in like the whole line?
Yeah, I mean, it could do. I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Have you I can't talk. Have you seen the manga where like the Ekans is cut in half?
What?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a really gory manga like by Nintendo.
Is that like one of the really older ones where I know that the older Pokemon manga were like really, really weird tonally sometimes.
Yep.
Like, I'd cut Ekans in half. I hate those fuckers. Snakes? Ugh.
What the
I don't think I could actually exist in like a Pokemon world. I would actually freak the fuck out.
You'd freak out when you're just walking in like a forest and then a freaking Weedle walk is hanging out on the tree.
Yes,
You'd be
a
like,
giant fucking bug. Oh, that'd be so gross. Oh my god.
I mean, the majority of the Pokemon are like weapons of mass destruction anyway, so yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah, but everyone has one, so it's fine, right?
No.
Do they change spawn rates in this game?
Yes.
Okay, so you can get every single one regardless of what ROM you put in?
Yeah.
Oh, but you probably tell
Okay.
stream what game you guys are talking about.
Oh, Poke MMO?
Yeah, Siel and Soap were yapping about Poke MMO earlier, and Siel was explaining that apparently, like the Poke MMO, which I thought was just the Kanto region. Apparently, like if you have the ROMs from any of like most of like the Gen 5 games, all of them can all of them work for Poke MMO, and you can play them and stuff.
Gen 5 games, but nothing prior to up to Gen 5, nothing prior to Game Boy Advance though.
Yeah. It's all the reprisal games.
Yeah.
Gold, Fire
Yeah.
Red. Is it Emerald or is it? I don't think we've got one for like.
Emerald.
It's Emerald. It's Emerald. It's Emerald.
Okay.
Emerald, Heart Gold, or Soul Silver, doesn't matter which one you use. Black or white, doesn't matter which one you use. Platinum has to be platinum. Emerald has to be emerald. You can't be sapphire or ruby. What else? You did not tier 3 to me. I don't have a single tier 3.
Hi Finn. Hi. Soapy said if I turn up your Discord, but I'm not seeing any. Oh, come on, Soap. You made a promise on stream. We gotta give Finn those feedbacks.
I don't have a single tier 3.
I don't know. Sounds to me like you're walking back on that promise. Oh.
No.
Don't want that. Hi Finn. Hope you're doing good. I guess every time. Type yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo. Yo, tab, enter.
Yoo-hoo!
Yoo-hoo. Hi. Sounding very gay version of me saying hi, yoo-hoo, hi, yoo-hoo, hello.
I do believe legendaries aren't a thing anymore.
That should be the case. It'd be a bit weird if everyone had legendaries.
Mewtwo is a thing, but only one person can have Mewtwo at a time.
In Pokemon?
What the fuck?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Just one?
Maybe there is legendaries then, but it's only one person can have them. I don't know.
If you want Mewtwo,
I wonder-
beat that dude's ass and take it from him.
I wonder how it goes with what's it called? I wonder how it goes with like the actual legendary like quests in the game. Because you have to go like talk to the legendary at some point, right? To progress the game. So how does that shit work out?
No.
Oh.
I never really liked the idea of having a legendary anyway. I always thought it was kind of weird. I feel like they should have done something more in the game when it's like, because they should have had it more special when you get a legendary. Because I don't know, it should be like you can't get most legendaries, but then maybe there's like one legendary that you can get, and it would be like, holy shit, you actually caught that one legendary that was in the game, you know? Rather than like, oh yeah, you can just catch them all.
You get them all.
So I guess you want to encourage more like player trading, I guess. So like if you want to catch them all, you have to trade with other people.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like getting legendaries doesn't seem like it should be a thing because, you know, they're legendary, and a lot of the time they're like kind of important to the environment of that fucking like area. So it's like if you just like remove them, you're probably fucking over everything. Like if you think of Lugia, right? Isn't Lugia meant to like stop the storms from like destroying shit or whatever?
True, but like it's also like Yveltal.
You just take Lugia from like fucking area, and it's like, oh okay, no more Lugia, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, I just got
Lugia's also supposed to keep the bird Pokemon in check. Isn't Lugia supposed to do that as well?
Yeah.
So like, it's just like for the completionists, they would still be a completionist if it was like, okay, you don't get legendaries because they're legendary Pokemon. And it doesn't make sense to get them, which it shouldn't make sense to get them.
They would complain. They're as they have the tagline, "Gotta catch them all," right? So obviously, that means you gotta catch them all, be able to catch them all, right?
Mouse, they just like they eventually released them all. But like, I think they were struggling with like optimizing the game, so they were struggling to put as many Pokemon as they could in the game because Switch's hardware fucking sucks. And that's why they had the whole like that whole thing about not being able to get all the original Pokemon. Like it wasn't like, oh, you can trade. There's certain Pokemon you couldn't trade.
I think that's more because of for just to decrease the workload on their side.
Well, yeah, but everything. The workload comes in optimizing and shit. Optimizing and fucking trying to like make the space make the games run with that number of Pokemon.
I don't think the number of Pokemon in the game had anything to do with the optimization issues. Those are like
well, they need to optimize other aspects of the game to have all those different fucking things because Switch just like, I mean, wasn't that the thing that was saying that was struggling with like how detailed they made the models, but they didn't actually increase the detail of any of the models. I can't remember what they said.
The 3DS models were weird from what I understood. Like they reused the 3DS models in the new Switch games, and they were like really high quality when they didn't need to be, but they were the resolution was so low on the 3DS, it was like whatever. I think there's some video about it. I wish I remember what it was, and then I bring it up because we pertinent to the conversation. But yeah, like they reused those models in the game, and there was someone who was breaking down the models to talk about how they're not optimized, they're ridiculously overtuned, whatnot. But yeah. But yeah, another problem I think is that just like Game Freak is just so Game Freak is like weird. It is a medium-sized company of like what was it, like 50-ish people? That's Game Freak, like the company that actually develops the Pokemon games, is very, very small. They are not a big company, and they insist on keeping it that way. And I think a lot of those things were just to manage the workload of the team, because like they just couldn't keep adding more and more Pokemon and doing proper balancing and stuff like that, I guess. But
I think the balancing thing is just a stupid excuse, honestly. I think that's just their excuse for it.
Yeah, a little bit, because like I don't think they've ever really cared about competitive balance at all for Pokemon, and I don't know. I don't think they
cared about to a tiny extent. But yeah, it's not. I don't know.
So yeah, I can't handle it because of the workload. No legendaries. We're removing all the cool features that you liked from Scarlet and Violet. were
Yeah, but they just like complain that like, oh, it's too big. There's too many Pokemon in the game that we need to like cut them. But also we need to cut them because it's easier to balance. But like, you know, it's just like it's just like they could have done it. I think they should be making 2D games still because I like the 2D games better.
I do like the charm of the 2D games. I kind of like them having to work. I'm a big fan of honestly of the style of the Gen 5 games, Black and White 1 and 2, because
I think my favorite style wise, maybe not. I think I like the all 2D of Game Boy Advanced, but I do think a lot of the pixel art in like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Pearl, Platinum, and Diamond. I should have said Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, but whatever. I think those ones have the best pixel art style. But
I was gonna agree with you.
those are definitely pretty good.
I do think Game Boy Advance, I'd prefer it to all be 2D. Just Game Boy Advance does have less detail with some things. I just don't like the 3D buildings. I think the 3D buildings kind of look gross, but maybe not gross, but like they don't look as good. Heart Gold, Soul Silver is definitely the best out of all the games.
I agree. They're my favorites. They are very, very feature complete games and benefited so much from the remakes. They fixed so many quality of life issues that existed in the original Gold and Silver. And
I mean, your Pokemon following you around, it's kind of the best.
I agree. It is such okay. So like, Pokemon is like supposed to be this series about like forming bonds and with your Pokemon and winning because of the power of friendship and all that, right? But that is almost never represented in the games themselves at all, mechanically at all. There's a friendship not count. There's a friendship stat technically, but that's only used in like a handful of situations to like for like evolution, pretty much, and for a couple moves like return and frustration. But like other than that, having the ability to walk around with your Pokemon was just super duper nice. It feels like natural. It makes sense.
It's just
cute. Yeah, and it's not a difficult. Well, in the sprite based games, I guess I would say, okay, yeah, sure, they gotta make little overworld sprites for all 400 plus Pokemon at the time, right?
Yeah, so, but the thing is, like, that's true, but that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, considering that they had already had them all done by Soul Silver, they only needed to add, like, 100 more? I mean, that is still a lot. And then 100 more because they had Hoenn but they had a fair few in Sinnoh as well, because you remember you could go to that like fashion thing.
Yeah, you could walk around with
them there. Or was it Safari? I don't know. It was something.
It was like this weird little park that you could walk around with certain Pokemon, and they were all like
thing that you could do that too.
And there were only like baby Pokemon for some reason, so you can only take like Pikachu, Pichu, Igglybuff, all those little baby Pokemon.
It wasn't only baby Pokemon, but it was like the ones that would be considered cute. Yes.
Yeah.
You couldn't take like fucking. Actually, I think you could. I think you could take all the starters. So I don't know. I don't think it's an issue necessarily for them to like actually implement that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't either. Which is like weird that they didn't keep doing it, because it's a very simple thing to implement, and it like I don't know. They're weird about removing stuff from game to game. Another thing I don't like, I thought that was weird that they removed was like the ability to rebattle trainers from Gen 3 to Gen 4.
You can do that in this one. You could do that in this one. You can rebattle people. Pokemon, the best. From what I'm seeing.
I think you can rebattle the Elite Four and they're harder next time too.
Honestly, Pokemon seems like it's like the best way to play the those games that we said earlier.
There is downsides to Pokemon MMO. They do kind of push like a purchase thing on you because they like lower your amount of experience. So it's a bit grindier. But if you don't mind the grind,
I didn't realize I was getting less experience.
yeah.
Am I actually getting less experience?
Yeah.
Weird.
If you don't mind the grind, but
I don't know how to feel about that, because like, so when I played the games, I would usually just battle every trainer I run into, and I would be fine. So I never had to like grind wild Pokemon or whatever. But like that sounds very, very boring, having to grind wild Pokemon. But you can be battle trainer, so I guess it's you know, you get more XP that way.
Yeah.
So oh,
It does seem a little weird.
but yeah. Let's see what other weird stuff about Pokemon. Do we want to yap about real quick before we move on?
Have you ever gone back and played like an old gen game like recently?
I have not.
It's pain.
Oh yeah, I would imagine.
It's so slow. You walk so slow, attacks are slow, your health drains slow.
Yep. I love walking everywhere slowly. I love not being able to run. It's so awesome. It's so cool seeing the
Every battle is like 5 minutes. It doesn't matter like how good you are. You're going to spend at least 5 minutes in a battle.
Oh my god. Does it do the thing like in Gen 4 where the health bar trickles down very, very slowly?
Yeah.
Ugh.
You mean Pokemon mode? No.
No, I mean like in Gen 4, like Gen
That was in
4
all
like,
Pokemon games.
okay.
Back then, it was just all of them to have that slow health bar.
No, they fixed it in Gen 5. Gen 5, they made the health bar faster.
Well, 4 and under, it's all really slow.
Yeah. Which is so annoying if you ever tax on like a Chansey. You just had to just sit there and wait a bajillion years for you to slowly tick through like the 200 plus health of Chansey just to kill it.
It would bring a lot of attention to be like, am I going to survive? And just watching your health bar slowly drain.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That is true. That is the only advantage of that. I think though, because it makes battles take way longer than they should, especially when most trainers are just like, I'm gonna throw out 2 under-evolved Pokemon that are should be evolved at this level, and then that's it.
Looking at you, Lance, with your 4 Dragonites.
Is the dragon type trainer only uses when there's no dragon Pokemon to use?
True.
It's interesting how I guess the rarity of typing has changed so much, because I think like because if you remember back in Gen 1, there was the only ghost type line was like Gengar, the Gengar line.
Pretty much, yeah.
That was it. So like Ghost was like in this weird position where it was this super unique rare type you could only get there at Lavender Town, and then it was never, and then they just became fairly common after that, I think. Although I guess in Gen 2 they add Mischievous, and then did they add any other ghosts? I don't think so.
I'm sure there's another one. Gen 2 was a weird gen where it was not a lot of good Pokemon, and the good Pokemon, like the starters, were all copies of the first gen stat-wise, and they're basically just a recolored, reskin. They should fix that, honestly, but they'll never do that.
I think they fixed it a little bit in Heart Gold Soul Silver, but you're right. It's like it was weird where like
no, I'm still pretty sure there are 1-to-1 stat-wise.
Oh no, I meant like the I was talking about the Pokemon being inconsistent. or like being showing no yeah, I remember when I played Heart Gold Soul Silver, there's barely any of like the newer Pokemon around.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Yeah.
talking the Gen 2 starters are basically just the Gen 1 starters stat wise. They're literally 1-to-1 stats.
Are they?
Yes, they are copies stat wise.
Oh, let me pull this up here.
Like Charizard and fucking what's the Gen 2 fire Pokemon? Cyndaquil? It's literally the same exact stat wise.
Who is? What?
Typhlosion and Charizard have the same exact stats.
Yeah.
For Alligator
makes
and
sense.
Blastoise, same exact stats.
That makes sense. So why does everyone hate fucking? Why does everyone hate Chikorita? Does Chikorita have the same stats?
Yeah, same stats as Bulbasaur.
And
That's
everyone's
weird.
still a hater.
I hate Chikorita.
Chikorita's better
Hmm.
wall than Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Because it has Light Screen and the other one. And then you can give it the clay that boosts that.
No.
But if you want a Pokemon that does that, you just get Superior.
Blastoise has different stats than for Alligator.
It shouldn't. Unless they changed it recently. They finally changed
I'm
it.
looking at Bulbapedia. Here, I'll show up on the stream. Yeah, here's a Blastoise. 79 HP, 83 attack, 100 defense, 85 special attack, 105 special defense, 78 speed, and then for Alligator is 105, 85 HP, 105 attack, 100 defense, and then special attack 79, 83, 78. So yeah, no, but they're different. Alligator's
They
higher
changed that at some point then.
Usually list in here when they update the stats, I think, right? Because like if we go to a Pokemon that's been buffed a bunch, like freaking Azumarill. I know Azumarill's been changed a bunch over the years.
Yeah, because it's using like every competitive thing because it has Belly Drum.
Yeah, see, here it says generations 2 to 5, and then onward. You can see it has a little buff to its special attack. For some reason, they increased its special attack by 10. I guess.
It's a good little buff.
Yeah. Oh, a little buff. I guess while we're yapping about Pokemon, that's the thing. They really don't like messing around with the Pokemon stats too much. They will sometimes give little 10-ish point buffs to certain stats every now and again, but that's about it. Weird. But yeah, so no, they technically do be different, but yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm super duper interested in Pokemon as much anymore nowadays because it doesn't. I mean, I like the Pokerogue. Pokerogue was fun.
You hate me.
What the no.
Classic.
No. I like some Pokemon. I think some Pokemon are pretty cute. That's you. You're the cute Pokemon.
No.